Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring for you a video in the Mogami. Mogami complete with 155mm guns. This is an interesting ship and a ship that doesn't get a lot of love on the Warcraft community, but I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. Loving it for its ability to set fires, although I'm aware that the 203s are able to do it more quickly and have a higher chance to do it. The sheer rate of fire and high explosive onslaught that this ship provides is fantastic. So you've seen me put a fire on this Iowa. He's extinguished the fire. My division buddy Sexroth in the Otago has been able to put another one on him. And momentarily, just before it starts to get a bit too dangerous, I've put a further fire onto him. And I've decided that I'm going to bug out of this fight, because it's not going to be too long before he starts to get accurate. I find, and I think most people will back this up, that the key with the Mogami is to continuously keep moving, not to give too long for anyone to get accurate with armor-piercing rounds, because the citadel on this ship is absolutely giant. This game being a tier 9 game, I was keen to sort of stay far back, get in the sniping damage earlier, the spotting damage, get in the quick shots, the fires as much as possible on these battleships, and then get out of the way before anything bad happened. The tier 9 cruisers in the game equally wanted to be out of the way before any of those had a chance to impact me. As you can see there, Sexroth taking a bit of a hit from the Iowa. So early game, don't want to rush in too quickly and die or anything like that, and that's a mistake that this Hatsuharu is about to make. Dip a fair bit unlucky with a good number of my shots on him, but keeping him engaged and keeping him busy is what's going to win us the game in the end. Making sure that the destroyers aren't left alone to plant torpedoes on battleships or anything like that. So there's a broadside out on him there now, and we'll shortly be able to fire another one off. Just disappeared into his own smoke at the moment. There's no other targets presenting at the moment. I'm dangerously still at the moment, aren't moving too much. I'm communicating with the guys on TeamSpeak to let them know what's happening with this destroyer, seeing if anyone's able to offer fire support. Sexroth can't at the moment, but Ictagon has some planes on the way that aren't doing a great deal else. There's too many high tier targets at the moment for him to safely engage them. So I popped some shots out speculatively against the destroyer there. Notice him incoming torpedoes, so turn into them just now. Try to always turn into torpedoes, it gives you a better chance of evading them than turning away from them. Also puts you nearer to the action once you've evaded them. So I'm going to try and get a few shots out here, but the Mogami's gun turn rate is going to work against me a little bit just here. Very frustrating sometimes. We get a few shots out, unfortunately collide with our friendly York, and interestingly we take out the engine on the destroyer there, while Ictagon's torpedoes are sailing into it, and he takes the kill. So 2-0 up at this point. It's very safe for us. At this point I'm going to magically fast forward the game because there's not a great deal for me to do now apart from get over to the other flank. I've seen that there's an Atlanta and a Nagato over there. That's where I want to be, engaging those two really at this point. So I've loaded the armor piercing rounds. We last saw the Otago coming down the 9-10 line. Here he is, just popped up a moment ago, so I'm ready. I'd like to get some armor piercing rounds into him because again he has a very weak citadel and easily penetratable ship there. So I'm holding my shot for a moment or two, trying to determine exactly where it's going to be best to fire, trying to figure out what sort of speed he's flying at the moment. The shells look reasonably good, but alas they go into the latter part of his ship and he's also started to turn a bit. But another set of shots out. We're still doing damage to the guy. I like a lot more. I'd like to be hitting him for sort of 5 and 10,000 instead of 4 and 5,000, but you know, damage is damage at the end of the day, and we have to take what you get sometimes. So unfortunately he's second guessing me constantly here, and where I've switched to high explosive I probably made a mistake, and I could have been done with being high explosive for the last shot and armor piercing for this shot. Unfortunately these things do happen sometimes. I'm loading up with armor piercing again now, ready to take another shot into him. Each of these volleys is doing a fair amount of damage to him at least, and that's the main thing. but he's shortly about to go down to other people. So 10 hits there. The accuracy on the ship I find fantastic with these smaller guns as well. Really useful to get those shots out. They might not do much damage on their own, but the number of hits you get, the number of fires you get, and the relative strength of armor piercing rounds are pretty interesting. You can see a Nagato coming here. I've been chatting to Ictagon on TeamSpeak and I've let him know there's a battleship coming here. It's on its own, it has no support, doesn't have fantastic anti-air armament. He's going to be able to get some decent torpedo hits into it from his plane launched torpedoes and plane launched bombs. Fired some shots out and unfortunately juked them. And now Ictagon's bombers have put a lot of fires on and the guys immediately repaired them. So if we can get some fires on now, he won't have fire repairs up for the next sort of minute or so. Fortunately, the shots he fired we evaded, and we managed to do 6,000 damage with 11 hits landed there, which is very good. No fires, which is frankly a little disappointing, but we'll carry on firing and hope for the best on this one. So more shots out on him. And we managed to get just over 3,000 damage with a single fire, which will be enough. And Ictagon's got a lot of torpedoes into him there. He's burning down from my fires, flooding from Ictagon's torpedo strikes. There's no way he's going to survive this now. We put a further round out just to make sure we can seal the deal. The less shots I have coming in at me, the better. I'll take a few there, unfortunately. I secure the kill on that ship there. So again, a lot of damage over time, just like on the hour at the beginning of the game. And sometimes with the these cruisers, that's sometimes where you rack up the damage quite a lot. So again, we're just sailing in a circle, but we're seeing that in the 7-8 line, there's a Amagi there. Again, he's going to be a culprit for our higher explosive damage. And we might even try a little bit of armor piercing on him if we can do. Should probably have done a little bit more of that on the Nagato, but it didn't really occur to me at the time. So we're just waiting just now. Just waiting for the Amagi to show himself again and to get within range of guns. Again, chatting to the guys on in the division. Looks like Sexfrost has taken some more damage, repaired some damage, and he's still in the fight. Absolutely. At the moment, the fight's level, 4 for 4. My team's done fairly well, I think, at this point. It's a bit of a slow one though, really, and nobody's pushed very hard on either flank or anything like that, apart from the Nagato and Atlanta on the enemy side on the 10 line just here that pushed through a short while ago. But our guys haven't really been pushing either flank, and there's been a few silly deaths, but so far not to worry too much. It's been nice to see there hasn't been too much saltiness in chat as well, which is very pleasant to see for a change. So we can see the Amagi is not aiming in my general direction, so while I can, I want to put as many shots into him as possible. So you can see we've got a fire on him already. He hasn't immediately put it out, which is fair enough. And we're getting a good number of hits, but I think my angling's just a little bit off in terms of where I'm firing at. I think I'm hitting his hull rather than his superstructure. And unfortunately we take fire from the Dmitry Donskoy that was escorting him, which is not a ship I necessarily want to be engaging terribly much. So I put a broadside again of high explosive in, change the angle of my own ship. And again, not a great deal of damage being done with these shots. We've got another shot out there. Perfect, only 3 hits on him. Consider attack on the Donskoy. Set some shots out anyway just to see what we can do. And we actually do incapacitate him, do a little bit of damage, nothing really to write home about. And again, at the moment we're still 4 for 5. We don't want to die, don't want to be killed by these ships, but equally if we can get some shots in and some damage in while they're engaging other people, then all for the better really. I felt like some of these bombers were coming for me, but they aren't. Engage the anti-air spread, make sure we can get reduce some of the bombers down as well. And we're getting more shots onto the Amagi now. So piling on more damage, more high explosive. We want some more fire damage if we can do. And I decided to switch to AP and just to see what it's like against this ship. There's no reason why not at this stage. We've done a fair decent job. Be interesting to know what it is. So fortunately every single shot goes past the island there. I didn't initially think it was going to do that. We put over 5,000 damage into him with a full 12 hits. Not terrible. And I'm sticking with armor piercing all into the mountain. The mountain's dead. That's the main thing. So the Amagi's burning down now. Sexroth takes the kill on that one, which is good. He was supporting us with explosive against him. So at the moment, had I been in a tier 9 or in the Otago, I'd probably be using this time now to heal back up again. Alas, the Mogami has no such heal. So we're seeing what sort of shots we've got on the different ships that are left just now. I can see our team melting them down a little bit. We're now still only 1 kill behind, but it is getting a bit desperate. We're back to 2 kills behind. It's not looking great, and there's a bit of chatter going on there between a few of the guys on our team. A bit upset that the Ictigan hasn't been engaging the battleship instead of engaging the destroyers. He did, if you remember, kill a destroyer in the beginning of the game, so he's doing all right, and he isn't going to go against a Dmitry Donskoy or against an Iowa with the Shokaku's planes. It's not going to go well for him. So I believe he was doing the right thing in what he was doing. And those ships are way too far apart for me to engage at the moment, and unfortunately we lose a further member of the team. So now I point out in chat that it's literally just us now, just our division left against a few tier 9s. Sexroth and I engaged this Dmitry Donskoy, trying to wait before I shoot to get all the guns round, but it's just not worth waiting at the moment. We need as much damage out as fast as possible, get some guns out of the game. So I put a fire onto him. He immediately extinguishes my fire. And I notice he's actually stopping, moving backwards and moving forwards now. Get some more shots out on him. Put a further 2 fires onto him. And I believe at this point Sexroth points out that he's also got 1 into him. So since I'm about to jump behind this island in a moment and there are bigger fish to fry, I decide to leave that guy to burn down, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sexroth gets the kill on that one. Again. So we have a few destroyers, a battleship and a cruiser left over. Not great odds for 3 not great ships to be engaging. The Mogami, Otago's good, Mogami is supposedly not so good, and a carrier. Try and get some speculative shots out from range on the ships there in the distance. The less hit points they have at this point, the better. And we notice there's a lot of bombers going towards Ictigan. So interestingly, got a fire on the Fletcher there that was last seen just over the back. And Sexroth takes that destroyer down, sorry. So now we're left against 1 Fletcher on full health, an Iowa on around about 30% health, and a Lexington on full health with a apparently full air wing. He is a strike Lexington as well, so very dangerous for any one of us really. He would be able to delete us from the game very quickly. So I see the torpedoes launching, don't want to get too close too quickly. Just want to get in there and basically win the game. At the moment we're really close on points. We're tied for kills. If we can get a further kill in, then we've probably won this game. The torpedoes run out of time now, run out of energy, so they're not going any further. We're safe now to turn back in. And Sexroth is engaging the enemy Iowa. He's pulling the damage down on it, reporting back to us in TeamSpeak. And we're turning back in to engage as much as possible. Not feeling terribly confident, however we'll do our best and we'll go down fighting. So spotted by a lot of these planes and trying to get in position to try and thin the numbers out a little bit if I can help Ictigan a little bit. But he seems to have got mostly under control himself, so we're okay with that. You can see the Fletcher's pop back up again. He's lost some health, probably due to the fire that I put into him, but of fire that Sexroth and Ictigan have been putting into him as well. But the Fletcher's probably the number 1 target right now. I need to get him down and out because he can certainly win the game. He can cap the base. He can probably destroy both of us reasonably easily if he's able to smoke and he's able to get accurate torpedoes out. And there's a full health Iowa, of course. It's only a 20% Iowa, but even still, it's a dangerous target. 1 badly placed armor piercing shell into this ship and I'm a goner, and it's very similar for Sexroth. Okay. There's the torpedoes I was talking about. We've lost Sexroth. It's now down to Ictigan and I to win the game. No pressure, of course. The Fletcher last spotted just in front of him. Need to make sure that we can get accurate shots into him as quickly as possible, get him out of the game, as Ictigan's sending his bombers towards the Iowa. Unfortunately, he's about to find the carrier very soon. He's really close to the Iowa, so it's very difficult for him. But he's trying to do as much as he possibly can do. He's also trying to spot the Fletcher for me. But there's a Fletcher, he's trying to go for the cap points. He wants to force the win as quickly as possible. So we're talking again about the accuracy at the beginning of the game and the middle of the game. That's a fantastic 7 hits into the destroyer there. From this kind of range on a small target like a destroyer, I'm really pleased with that. It earns me the high caliber medal. Further shots out. And again we get 5 on that one, or 6 on that one. Leaving him with a sliver of health. And last shots out. Managed to take him out of the game. So, now simply a carrier sailing straight towards me and a battleship to kill. My high explosive and armor piercing isn't going to do a massive amount to the Iowa, unfortunately. I can only tickle him. He can potentially delete me from the game. And at the moment, we need to kill him or the carrier to complete the game. But with only 50 seconds left, we need to focus on the carrier, on the Iowa. So effectively, I'm engaging him to make him forget about the torpedo bombers that are coming in shortly. You see 3 shots on him there really didn't do a great deal of damage. Fortunately, he's firing out high explosive and misses me. So we get another few shots out onto him. Again, I'm probably aiming a bit too low, but in the dying 20 seconds of the game, Ictigan's torpedoes firing against a ship that's very slow. He's losing a few of them, but he's able to do just enough to get the kill. And 7 seconds left, we're ahead on points. I simply needed to avoid those armor piercing rounds, and that's all she wrote. Game's over and we win. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to play the last part of the game with the included commentary from Ictigan and Saxaroth. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.
Not sure he's really
No, he's just very slow. Okay, should get 3 tops into him, he's dead.
Run away, run away, run away.
That game was close.
Oh, good effort, boys.
This was an awesome game.
Look at us at the top.
Yeah, all of us over 2k XP.
Wow, that's a carry game.